Let's do final thoughts. Quick final thoughts. What comes to mind? It may be a takeaway. It might just be how you feel it.
A lot of nuggets. I think just focusing. I'm excited to be doing the three-way calls with the coaches. I think that's really going to get me in my blocks. So yeah.
Love it. Yeah, very big one. Rick, if you still have a voice, Rick Morado.
Yep, that's still here. Well, probably my biggest takeaway was when you revisited the why and to go back into it, do it again, revisit it, re-update it, and things change.
Last
Keep it in front of you.
Oh, sorry, Rick. Awesome.
Nope.
Mr. Bristol, final thought.
Final thought for me is when you mentioned the daily habits supporting where I want to go. With my life the way that it's been going on right now, I really need to hit that. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about it, Chris. So see if I can kind of hone things in.
Yeah, I'm going to be giving you a buzz later anyway. We can add that, or we can pick it up tomorrow if we're out of time. It doesn't surprise me with all the stuff you have going on that you're actually having stuff pop now, because busy people get shit done, right? You're just fitting it all in. It's not surprising, so, and it's work. It's definitely applauded. Douglas back in the trenches with us.
For thought for me, where we be a person service, but not be a person on a string.
Awesome. You took Nick's string idea. Annette.
I'm going to be adding that 3 to 5 minutes in the morning. I'm going to be adding something new, positive every day to my morning routine.
That's awesome. And guess what? There's probably people in the community you can say, hey, what's worked the best for you for the last year for morning routine? Well, I'd first start by asking who has one, right? And then what's worked best? Avi?
Yeah. It's kind of a circular idea here. Is just making sure my why is dialed in, making sure I'm reviewing it on the daily basis as part of the morning routine. Then the monthly review, the gut check to make sure that my calendar is fitting with that. Just constant going through the same.
Yeah, you've stacked some things over the last 3 or 4 months. So you just keep doing that, and it does add up. Robert?
Yeah, just making sure your why is in front of you daily, and also seeing if I'm reaching my goals monthly. Do that gut check and make sure I'm on track and fine tune if needed.
Nice. Sandra?
Definitely revisit the why. Life has been full of pivots over the past couple of years, and I just did it 5-6 months ago with Rick, and I need to do it again and get realigned.
When you got to redo your whys, that's usually a good sign, meaning you're growing, right, guys? Paul?
Yeah, for me, it's, if I keep rolling the same way in a year of my life, be where I want it to be. I just lack a lot and doing what I need to be doing, and I just got to really put my head back down and focus.
Awesome. And I should have said this, but when you guys are doing your why, please, please, please remember not to get caught up in the how. That'll cripple you too. We didn't talk about that today. Maybe another subject. Will Bates. Final thoughts. Will, you live?
Oh, yep. I'm sorry. I thought you were using the word will, not the person will.
Oh, you're good. No, you're good. Final thought.
Well, it's great to be back on after being so crazy. I'm in the middle of selling a mobile home park, selling a house, getting a loan on a mobile home park, a lot of other stuff going on. And I just want to say how blessed I am that I quit my W-2 job and hired myself in 2008. So I went from being employed by somebody else to myself. And so I'm very fortunate to be where I am, and I'm very thankful to be in this group.
Love it. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back at it. Jeremiah, final thought.
Just overall increased self-awareness, understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing, realizing when I'm hitting roadblocks and being able to dig deep for resilience. And then also just being honest with myself. That look back, I think, is really good. So overall, just increased self-awareness.
Yeah, if you guys get nothing else out of the high six, then okay, reset. It's a win. But it sounds like we get a lot more. Janice?
I'm going to add my whys to my morning routine. Also reading Atomic Habits again. So just making that a habit daily. And I really liked Jeremiah's reminder of the 4 quick questions to ask early in the call, so make the call more efficient and then just move on. And then lastly, just keep dialing more. Stretch my goal, like Judy said, just make one more, and get it done.
Awesome. Quick story. Atomic Habits was given to me by Chad, Mike, and Rusty, and I don't know if Rick even remembers Chad, but Chad just closed his last payday 3. Chad had a life change, lost his wife, started a new family, and has been out of the community for a while, started a new business for grief counseling, really cool stuff. But he just closed his last payday 3 for $32,000. Sorry, 64. He had initial split with. Can you imagine that, though? That was years ago. And his family still, even though he's off doing this thing, we're super happy for him. Not sure where to get started? Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/get going for free books, strategy calls, and a whole bunch more. We're going to help you get going the wicked smart way. We've been after this for over a decade doing exactly that.
So I got a lot of things out of this call, but I think a big thing is I have a few action items with the coaches, with you, Chris, but really focusing on the dials, the leads, the follow-up. Like I know that's been a weak point for me. And I need to really focus on that and do the gut check on it. Did I accomplish this? And in the process, it made me think, give my VAs a few more hours a week. Let them do some of this other stuff with REI and My Plus and Land Voice and all that. I don't need to be figuring out that stuff. That will free up time for me to keep working with sellers.
Yeah, seller calls and appointments, and eventually buyers. That's it.
Yeah.
Larry, final thought.
Participating in these calls is really useful, and some of it interesting gets filed away in the back of my mind, and then there's some where I feel I'm stuck right now, and that changes from week to week. And so these hot seats are especially useful because it brings up what's going on today.
Yeah. All right. That's like Script Channel versus the seller call program. Both great. Script Channel more current, right? Jonathan.
4 to 5.
Right.
Yeah, final thought. Having 4 to 5 take-ins on the board at any time is really brilliant. I can see how that's going to help with momentum and lead management, and it'll keep my negative thoughts away.
Love it. Where's you?
And final thought, do not get hung up on a lead. Move on.
And all of us. Bjorn.
Yeah, I've just been reminded so much of how much of an inner game this whole business is, and there's, of course, a conscious part where you can just learn how to reframe things and then try different things, experiment with things. But there's a big unconscious part with all of that where you say, I'm sending a vibe out that doesn't get me the results that I want to have. And for that part, I think the call reviews are just golden. And I want to send out more here in the near future again to get that feedback.
Great. And you'll hear it. What's fun for the coaches, because the call critiques are not fun, okay? Disclosure. What's fun for the coaches is for them to hear your progress, right, guys? That's where it counts. They're like, oh, they got it. And they get that next word I told them to do. And it's fun to hear. Mr. Mike Mac.
Start spending some time in the morning focusing on the why instead of the how. Because I keep getting stuck up in, I need to get this numbers, I need to get this. I keep losing in the mud of why I'm doing it.
Yep. You can Google Michael Tyranny of How. I talked about a lot of the events, but Google that. You'll get mostly Tony Robbins, but it'll help you. Yeah. Mike Mac.
Yeah, on the personal note, I'm going to, instead of a coach's perspective, I'm going to go off of a personal side. My why, I need to revisit that and just kind of tweak a little bit. I think I've hit some goals and new pivot points, and I'm ready to do the deep dive and the exercise on the why. So, new focus.
Awesome. Mr. Nick.
This is personal, and as a coach, keep going.
Nick's big on final thoughts. I love it. Actually, I want to say what I said to you last night, Nick, on the phone. We usually touch base and get a pulse. And I said, isn't it amazing? This is just last night, that the coaches by far call us the most for tweaks and help. It's not coincidental they're as good as they are. They're always looking for help and always looking for tweaks and always looking for improvement. Just said it to him last night. I forget what sparked that last night, Nick, but I know we say it a lot.
I know it's not that. It was Rusty.
Good.
Awesome. He was always reaching out for help.
Yeah, that's what sparked it. You're right. It's awesome. Rusty, we'll go to you then.
Yeah, piggyback off on Mike, because my biggest takeaway on Rick's why was the surface level why. I definitely had a surface level. I never really got to the why where I was emotional about it. You know, with what happened this weekend, and I think I need to dig a little deeper because it was a really emotional weekend for me. So I think it's going to help me with future stuff as far as making experiences or creating experiences, you know, especially with my kids and my grandkids, future grandkids.
No, it's awesome, Rusty. So two comments. You know, enormous thank you for even coming in here today this quick after all that went on with you. And yeah, no better time facetiously to do a change when the emotions are there, because you're like, oh shit, life is kind of short.
Yeah.
Oh, huge point. Thanks for sharing, Rick.
Well, I think it's when you brought up having 4 to 5 deals taken stacked up, because that keeps your mindset straight. Yeah, that's from
Tied to one seller or buyer comment or idiotic event or whatever.
Yeah.
I say this most times I'm with you guys in the boot camps, but I'm just psyched for the new stories. I just felt a lot of good energy today, in particular, because there's a lot more that we could fit in the conference room on a boot camp, and there's definitely stories coming out of this group, so I'm feeling it and psyched for that. It's always great to see the new stories pop up. QLS Live 25 is not far away. I know it sounds like it is, but it's October, I think it's 6-7, whatever that Monday is, and it'll come fast. So let's create some stories for that. So you guys, Thursday, reminder, jump on as early as you can for the 2 to 5 Eastern time slot. And it's just smartrealestatecoach.com/3 paydays virtual. All right. Everybody have a great afternoon. It sounds like we got nuggets. I'm not going to say I hope you did. Coaches, thanks a bunch. Appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone.
Be good.
Thank you. Thank you.